Everybody, and welcome to our YouTube channel, Fast CPA and Consultants. I'd like to introduce our CPA, Fulton Abraham Sanchez. Welcome, Fulton.
Thank you, Sarah.
If you're visiting us for the first time, we started a few months ago this series, Tax Talk. You sent us your questions through emails or social media, and today's topic we have MSB license. So are we ready to begin?
Yes.
Awesome. First question we have, what are the requirements to obtain an MSB license in the US if I have a company abroad?
Okay. First, the MSB license is Money Service Business License. It is also known as Money Transmitter License outside of the US. So like in Europe, it's not MSB, it's not Money Service Business, but Money Transmitter Service, MTS, or Money Service Transmitter. I'm sorry, Money Transmitter Service, MTS. Here in the US, basically the MSB license is needed when one person is going to transfer money on behalf of another person to a third party. Same thing as PayPal, same thing as Western Union or Zoom.com. And the requirements for somebody who is non-US citizen someone who is US citizens are exactly the same. There is no change. But the basic requirement for this license is that the company shows, in addition to the application, also shows anti-money laundering policy. This is a book, a brochure, not a brochure, a book that the company should show, to provide with the application. In addition, company should also provide a business plan of what is the reason, what is the market, how the company is going to operate. And this needs to be attached to the application, in the state. Here in the US, there is no one license application for money service businesses. You have to apply state by state. Just to give you an example, PayPal has 48 licenses of MSB in the USA, 48. Almost 51, because, well, I think that they have one of the states doesn't require, I don't remember which one, but then they have 48 MSB licenses. So it all depends where you plan to operate and where your clients will be. In addition to all these requirements, you also need to submit fingerprints. So if someone who is not in the US will need to come to the US and have fingerprints, and the fingerprints that submit to the state, in this case, to the financial division of the state, and the state will provide you a code for those fingerprints to be submitted directly to the database of the state. Also, you need at least, and depending on the state, for example, this varies with the state. Some states require $100,000 capital. Some other states require $50,000, $100,000 in capital. Other states require $500,000 in capital. So it all depends on the state where you plan to operate. States like New York and New Jersey, they are in the $5K to $1 million in capital. So it's very high. It all depends of the activity of the state in those cases. For non-US citizens, they need to have an office in the US. Well, this is for US citizens and non-US citizens, foreign citizens. The company who is going to apply, and this is, I forgot at the beginning, if you want to apply to this license, you have to open a corporation or a LLC in the USA. That's the first requirement. So let's say in Texas, or say Florida, you want to apply to an MSB license in Florida, you first open an LLC or a corporation in Florida. That's the first requirement. Second, you also rent an office and then you hire one person there. In the office, you have a telephone number, a fax number, you have an email, you have a website, you have all those requirements, because that is required of the application. So you open the company, you rent an office, you hire a person here in the US, and with all that, and then you also open your own website for the company, and then you have an email with all those requirements, an email with the company name. With all those requirements, you can start your application. Once you have all that, you will need to provide a business plan. You also need to provide the anti-money laundering policy. You also need to provide in the application, when you apply the fingerprints, either for US citizens or non-US citizens, you need to provide identification. This will be a passport or could be a driver license in the USA. But you have, if you are a foreign citizen, you have to have one person here in the US. That's why I said at the beginning that, well, before, that you have to have one employee. You have to hire someone who is to be the contact of the application, because that name will be on the application. So once you have all that, you have the company, you have the employee, you have the office, you have the website, you have the email address, you started the application, you have the business plan, you have the anti-money laundering policy, you do your fingerprints, and then you have to provide, if you have partners either in the US or outside of the US, you need to provide the IDs of all those partners. You need to identify anyone who is a shareholder or a partner of the company or of the LLC that is doing the application.
Oh, okay.
So with all those elements, once you have all this, you need to post at the bank the capital. This will be $100,000 in the bank. And you need a CPA, an auditor, to audit that, meaning that the auditor will issue a report, and that report will mean that the money is there. That's an audit, that's an initial audit, and that audit needs to be attached to the report, to the application, the MSB license. If you have a company that has been doing business already, you need to audit the financial statements. A CPA, a certified public accountant, needs to audit the financial statements and attach that audit report to the application for the MSB license.
Okay.
Once you have all this documentation, you can submit the application to the Finance Commission, or to the Finance Commission of the state, and then it will take at least 90 days for the application. In addition to that, some states require that you also post a bond. A bond is like a policy that you give, or the guarantee, it's like the guarantee that you give that you are able to provide, if anything, if it is required, you are able to provide the money, that the initial capital that is required. This could be, as I said before, from $50,000 to $1 million. 50,500, and other state you require $1 million. So in addition to the initial capital that is required, some states also require that you post a bond, like a guarantee bond, that you are able to come up with all this money of capital up to $1 million. When you have all this, you are able to submit the application. Some states, for example, Georgia, Tennessee, and some three more states, they have created like a jointly application where you apply to one state, and that application also works for the other states. But remember, it has to be separate. It doesn't mean that you're applying to one and then you get 5. No, you have to apply one individually. But that can be done online. States like Florida, Texas, they do not allow online application. That has to be on paper, and then you can submit it online. But then there are other states that you can submit all the information online. It's like going to an email and then put all the information. That is the process for the application of a MSB license. It is, and in addition, one final requirement is that you have to appoint a compliance officer. Compliance officer means that that person will be the one in charge for enforcing the anti-money laundering and all the policies and procedures of the company, because you also need policies and procedures. I didn't mention this before. You need a business plan, you need anti-money laundering policy, and you also need policies and procedures of the company. Otherwise, how the compliance officer is going to enforce the policies and procedures if there are no policies and procedures? And that officer, the officer of compliance or compliance officer, will need to be named on the application. So for foreign citizens, it's a little difficult because they will have to establish first, hire a person, rent an office, and then provide all this documentation that is required. So it's a little difficult for someone who is not in the US. We have helped foreign clients to do that, but that is the process. You have to have a compliance officer. You have to have an employee. If the employee has experience as a compliance officer, has experience in banking or in compliance of banking or compliance in related activities, like activities similar to PayPal or Western Union, then that employee can work as well as the compliance officer. But if the employee is only a staff employee and has no experience for compliance, then you need to find a person who has experience in compliance.
Got it. Okay.
And that person needs to be local, US citizens with Social Security, and in the US with US address.
Oh, okay. I think we kind of answered question number 2. What is the procedure to apply for an MSB license in the US, and how long does this process take?
Oh, I didn't see that. Okay, no problem. The procedure is the one that has been saying. It more or less has three steps, three big steps. That's the first one. The second one is to hire an employee, rent an office, get a telephone number, get a fax number, because all that is required, get email, and get website, all that. And the third, it will be, first of all, post or deposit the initial capital in the company. It will be $50,000 to $500,000 at the bank. Once you have that, then start with the application, then do the business plan, do the anti-money laundering policy, do the policies and procedures, attach that to the application. If the owner is in the US, get the fingerprints. If it is outside of the US, come to the US, get the fingerprints, and then have the initial capital audited by the CPA in the US. If the company already has a financial statement, meaning activity, it will need an audit report as well. And get also if it is required, get the bond. It could be a bond from $50,000 to $500,000 as well, sometimes $1 million. It depends on the state. Get the compliance officer, put all that information there on the application, and all these documents of the third step, the application, the audit report, the anti-money laundering, the business plan, and the policies and procedures, all that information, put it together or attach it to the application, then submit the application. And then it will take 90 days. It might be that the financial department of regulation of the state, of financial department regulation of the state, will require more information. And they will call to the office to make sure that someone is at the office. So This has to be real. It's not like a registered office that answers the phone, because that doesn't work. They either neither PO box. It has to be someone real. Remember that this is a license. You have to comply with the requirements of the license. If you do not comply and you provide false information, that will be a felony, and you will be in violation, and you can be indicted by the state for violation of the state laws and lying on the application. And that means a lawsuit. And if you do not comply, that means jail.
Okay. Got it. So for our third question, we have, if I have an MSB license in a US state, can I do business with other states and receive clients from other states? What do I have to do if I want to cover several states in the US?
Yes, you can. But to be able, when you get the MSB license and for not creating a false impression that you have license in multiple states, you have to depict with a big letters on your website that you are only authorized, that your license is only in Florida, so people know. And that has to be big letters, big letters. PayPal, for example, post that at the end of the website, but they have 48 licenses. So if you have one license in one state, you have to post in big red letters, our MSB license is in Florida, or we are authorized by the Florida Financial Commission, blah, blah, in Florida. You cannot advertise outside of Florida, and you cannot say that you are authorized to do business in any other state, but in Florida. That's how it works. If you have businesses in other states and you want to take those clients, you need a license also in those states. Otherwise, the licenses are not for prestige. The licenses are for protection of the public in the United States. So when you are licensee in any state, yes, for an MSB license, a money service business license, is not for you. It's for it's not for you only, for the protection of the public. And the only way to protect the public from other states is to get a license in that particular state where you have clients receiving money from those clients. So it is required that if you have clients in other states, yes, you have to get a license.
Got it. And we have our last question. What are the requirements and differences between using a credit card or an electronic wallet for the transactions of my companies with an MSB license in the US?
Basically, is the MSB license will give you the, let's say, the authorization to do business with these electronic wallets for third parties. Think like a bank account, but that's different. For having a bank account and offering bank accounts, you need a banking license. That's a different application, higher capital amounts, completely separate and different. In this case, an electronic wallet doesn't have the ability, for example, for accrue interest. So you open a company, you also implement a system for the service of your clients where you offer an electronic wallet. And this electronic wallet usually have crypto money or have fiat. And what you do is, you offer these wallets, and then people put the wallet, put money in the wallet, either fiat or crypto, and that money is transferred to a third party, and you are the one doing the transfer. When that happens, you need an additional level of policies and procedures and anti-money laundering to deal with this crypto transactions. And the main difference between using a credit card and using an electronic wallet is that the credit card is accepted everywhere. The credit card is provided by specific companies, Visa, MasterCard, American Express, Discovery, Diners, and they are the ones who provide that credit card. And there are millions of establishments that accept that credit card. With the electronic wallet, there is no way to use it as a credit card because, first of all, if you put crypto there, crypto in the US is not accepted. So you cannot go there and pay with your wallet. You have to convert it first to a fiat, and then from that transfer it to your bank account, from that wallet transfer to your bank account, and then from the bank account use your debit card or your debit card will be, and then pay with your debit card. So in that case will be, you still will be under, say will be Visa or MasterCard, whatever card you have, your debit card, whatever card you have, your credit card, you can also transfer to your credit card and pay with your credit card, but you will be then working with this American Express credit card, Visa, Discovery, etc. But for the electronic wallet, it's only it's like an unit of accumulation. You can accumulate your money there, but you will not be able to use it in the US unless there is like an establishment, like a business that will accept that kind of electronic wallet specifically. If there are, for example, other countries, I was reading that El Salvador just implemented Shibo, where there is an electronic wallet exclusively for crypto. And that crypto, in the case Bitcoin, can be converted to dollars directly. And they have ATMs in specific places where you go with your Shibo electronic wallet, you log into the system, and then the ATM will provide you dollars directly, dollars. So, but that doesn't work here in the US. Well, kind of, yes. The difference is that you can pay directly in Bitcoin in El Salvador. In the US, no. There's no acceptance of Bitcoins. There are like retail establishments. There are others online that do accept Bitcoin. I know of that. But with electronic wallet, to go to any retail establishment, you will not be able to pay unless you have only fiat money. And that fiat money is transferred to your bank account to pay with your debit card. That's the main difference between paying with a credit card and paying with an electronic wallet. Now, to offer this electronic wallet to clients, you need to have an MSB license in the state where your clients are. So if you have multiple clients in multiple states, you have to have a license in each one of the states where your clients are, to be able to offer these electronic wallets.
Right, got it. So that was our last question for today. Thank you, Fulton, for your time and also your information. If you have any questions, send them through email, social media. We do have a group on Facebook. We'll put the link down below. Remember to subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye.
Thank you.